Religions came and the colonialism came, we left that and we follow anybody else that came because that is African culture for you. That's African belief. We like what we do. This is not just African, it's black people. If we have something good, we throw it aside and borrow something else. That's why most people are in Africa or black people are Christians or Muslims. None of them, most of them are not following African spirituality. You cannot call yourself an Pan-Africanist if you do not follow Pan-Africanism. If you do not follow African spiritual belief. Because African spiritual, if you cannot say you love African history, you love African culture, and detest African spirituality. Because the culture and the history that you claim to love so much came from the religion, the spiritual belief. You cannot isolate them.
Well, people can argue that you can be a Muslim or a Christian, and still want the love and interest for the African people while still practicing your religion. You
can claim that, but you don't call yourself an Africanist. You are not Pan-Africanist. You can claim that if you want to do that, but don't ever call yourself Pan-Africanist. Because the Pan-African, you cannot claim a true Pan-Africanist must love everything that is African.
You go today.
Yeah, especially if you claim to love the culture and the history, you cannot throw away the religion it came from because it is rooted in African spirituality. So you can claim that I want Africa to develop blah 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 blah, but don't dilute yourself and play hypocrisy and say I'm a Pan-Africanist. I believe in African spirit, African. No, you don't. You don't. Just be honest with the people, with your viewers or whatever, but don't claim that, don't lie, don't do that. And that is the problem. So I agree with your original sentiment. I agree. Many people who call themselves Pan-Africanists are not Pan-Africanists. They are pretending to be Pan-Africanists. They are pretenders. That's why I told you in the beginning, I do not believe Kwame Nkrumah was a Pan-Africanist because he had a white wife. I do not believe Leopold Sedar Senghor, who is from my tribe, is a Pan-Africanist. He had a white wife. Yeah. So if you look at many of these so-called Pan-Africanist leaders, not all of them, but many of them, they had white wives. And therefore, if they are so corrupt, why are you looking up to them as your definition of Pan-Africanism? Those are not Pan-Africanists. Because you cannot claim to be a Pan-Africanist then still want to sleep with your oppressor's daughter. You can't do that.